Hey there, guys. We just watched She-Hulk episode 8, right?
Yeah, episode 8.
Episode 8. It was better. Definitely an improvement.
Episode 8. This episode should have been episode like 3 or 4.
Yeah. I think they should have cut out some stuff in the beginning. But also, I feel like, I was saying this before, I feel like for Intelligentsia, the focus wasn't on what it should have been on.
Yeah.
Because like when we first hear about Intelligentsia, they focus mostly on memes, like hate tweets basically, versus focusing on the death threats that She-Hulk was getting. And the most concerning thing of those two, mean memes about someone versus death threats, obviously death threats are worse than mean memes.
Yeah.
But they focus more on the mean memes. They're like, oh, they're making mean tweets about She-Hulk. It's like, okay, but by emphasizing that, you kind of skating over. I'm not saying they skated over.
Yeah.
But by emphasizing one thing that's not that important compared to the other thing, you make the other thing lesser by comparison. Like in this episode, it was like, oh, they did when Hulk King like took over the presentation. It was like, She-Hulk's not who you think she is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she also sleeps around. It's like, okay, but if the main purpose of a presentation is this, then why are you not presenting it as that's the... You get what I mean? And they were talking about... They said, you don't know She-Hulk, blah, 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 blah. And then they said... And then in passing, they said, and she sleeps around with multiple men.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, okay, so the majority... If this presentation that they were making was about that, why did they present that as, like, a... You get... I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like the main point that the audience was supposed to take away from this was that the main point the audience was supposed to take away from Intelligentsia was kind of swept by the wayside.
Yeah.
But I did really like Daredevil.
Yeah.
I thought the courtroom scene was really interesting.
I think that would have been more impactful though if we would have seen Jen do more lawyer stuff beforehand.
Yeah,
it would have been more impactful because now we're like, oh, this is a lawyer who can contend with Jen.
Yeah,
it would have been more impactful. And this way, female lawyer of the year, we understand more why she's getting the award.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought the fight with I thought the CGI for the fight scene with Jen and Daredevil was really good.
It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, so far, this is what we're getting. If this is a look at what we're getting in the Daredevil series, I would say it looks pretty good. Only thing I wish they did a fight scene. I wish that fight in the hallway, they would have done it with just one shot.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
I think it would have been a little better. I'm kind of confused in the group is the bad group is
Intelligentsia.
Yeah, Intelligentsia. I'm kind of confused what their goal is because I thought they were trying to steal their blood, but now they're not. So maybe it's just like step 1, turn the public against her.
Yeah, and then step 2. Do you think Titania has to deal with that?
I don't know. I don't think she does.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's just kind of like there, just supposed to be an obstacle for each episode. I don't think she's gonna be there long, but I really think if they would have introduced Daredevil earlier, the tension between Jen and Titania could have been maybe felt more, because like she's not just bothering Genesis, or their rivalry between Jen and Titania is kind of messing up other stuff. You know what I mean?
No.
Like she's showing up to the wedding and stuff, and it's like her being like, I'm not going to fight for Titania even though you want me to. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like feel like some of the episodes could be taken out. The episode with Wong, the episode 4 was it? I feel like that could have been taken out. I mean, something about it could show up in episode 3. I mean, episode 9. It's almost like we're talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
something from episode 4 could show up in episode 9. The only thing about it is episode 4 is a court case episode, but I just don't like the concept of episode 4. I think maybe the series could have been condensed, maybe. I don't know how that would have affected story structure. That probably would have affected some things. But I think more happened in this episode than previous episodes. This episode definitely felt like it had an ending.
Yeah.
I felt Matt Murdock was a little bit too flirty in the Daredevil costume. Because, like, I know, like, back in, if you look at the Daredevil show, Matt Murdock was really flirty. But he wasn't flirty like that, the way they presented him as She-Hulk in the Daredevil costume. He wasn't flirty like that in the Daredevil costume. Like, even like when he was with Elektra, he wasn't really like that. But I guess I don't know if I really care or mind. I don't know. It's just something I noticed. Yeah, I like this episode better than the other ones. It reminds me of the first episode when Bruce was like, when you get labeled as a monster that doesn't go away. But here's my thing. I think they showed too much before the show came out. They showed too much in the trailer.
Yeah.
Because the gala, the thing for the gala, we already saw it in the trailer. The very first trailer for the show, almost like one of the first trailers for the show.
Yeah.
We saw the dress for the gala.
Yeah,
one of the first trailers for the show, we saw her in her what's that called? In her superhero suit. We saw Daredevil. You know, I'm not saying like they showed everything. Like the Daredevil situation, we didn't know that he was going to be fighting Leapfrog. They did keep some things hidden, right? I'm not saying they spoiled everything, which I'm glad they didn't spoil everything. But the big things that we were supposed to look forward to, I felt like they spoiled it.
Yeah. I thought Daredevil wasn't going to show up until the end of the episode. So I'm glad we got him in the beginning and with the courtroom scene. Yeah. So I don't really need him next episode. Yeah. I think this was enough, but they definitely should have done this episode. Like, he only need to be in one episode. Mm-hmm. But I think if they would have done this episode earlier, I think Jen's development would have been better. Because then the whole series could have been about her trying to clear her name, or, you know what I mean? Also, maybe halfway through this should have happened, so it picks up.
Also, it could be like, I'm not saying that this could have worked. It probably could, but like, if Bruce told her a piece of information about his perception of superheroing versus Matt Murdock, and then but like those kind of clash, and so she kind of has to live with like, how do I move? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because all Captain America's friends are superheroes. The government knows who Captain America is. I mean, not Captain. All of Hulk's friends are superheroes. That's what I meant. And the government knows who Hulk is, right? The public knows that Jen is a superhero. But none of Jen's main friends and family are superheroes. So the way that Daredevil responds to something is different than how these other things would respond.
So you're saying that's kind of like why we need someone like Daredevil there?
Like what you were saying, like maybe like have him earlier in the season. Yeah. And like we see that contrast of. Yeah. You know.
I feel like we need a moment, like kind of like to have an Invincible, where Mark figures out what it actually means to be a hero. Yeah. I feel like if we would have had Matt Murdock in it more, we could have seen how she has to balance being She-Hulk and Jen Walters more. Yeah. You know, because
we'll probably get that. We'll probably get that in the next episode. We don't want to like discount it. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's gonna. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna have him in the next episode.
No, I'm not talking about Matt Murdock. I'm talking about the idea of balancing it. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't think she's. I think she's gonna be in court, but I don't think. You know what? I think Matt Murdock's probably gonna be defending her.
No, he went back to New York.
Oh yeah. Then someone else is gonna be defending her. I don't think she's gonna be a defense lawyer.
Obviously, yeah, she's probably not gonna defend herself.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna be, unless they clear that up pretty quickly, which I mean they probably could. Probably not. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean not Homecoming, No Way Home. They kind of skated by the court case.
Yeah, so they could always do that, but this is definitely a better episode than the other ones.
I think it is a better episode. I like it. The only thing is the different dresses and stuff like that. Like in the beginning, we're told, oh yeah, the dress that she's wearing, that's the dress from this is a nitpick. I'm gonna be completely honest and say, or what I'm about to say now is a nitpick.
Yeah.
When she's wearing the dress that the dude made for her, she's just like wearing it, but we're not told that she's wearing the dress until she goes to her boss and it's like, I can't represent this client because he made this dress for me.
Oh.
And I'm just like, we spent like 2 or 3 episodes waiting for the reveal of this specific dress, and it was just thrown away. You know, it's just like, oh, she's wearing the dress. You know what I mean?
One thing I was surprised about.
Like I said, that's a nitpick, but
yeah, one thing I noticed is when she was meeting with the guy and he said he stole the spear from he won the spear at an auction. And I was thinking, I'm surprised if they wanted it back. I'm surprised they didn't just come in and take it.
Yeah.
Because when Claw had the vibranium, they just went to Claw and took it.
Yeah.
The only reason they didn't just take him back to Wakanda is because the U.S. got involved.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, okay, well now we can't just take him because it's gonna cause an international issue.
Yeah.
So.
And then you look at like you were talking about
Falcon
Winter Soldier. Dora Milaje were like, oh, Zemo's out. Bucky, hand him over. You have like 5 seconds to hand him over, or we're just gonna come in and take him.
Yeah, so I'm surprised they didn't just take the spear. But even then, when Dave had the only one who ever wanted to take the weapons back was Killmonger. So I was also kind of surprised by that. Like, well, the Wakanda's never done that. It was Killmonger who did that.
You're right.
So, unless it's someone working on, or someone part of the team,
unless it's setting up Black Panther too.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
could be said that would be cool if it's setting up Black Panther too.
Because at first I'm like, they would have taken it back, but then I'm thinking none of them have ever done that.
Yeah. Because
even the weapon they had in the museum, he said that was from Wakanda and that was made with vibranium. I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, Killmonger.
Yeah,
Killmonger was the only one who ended up stealing it from the museum. So, who was after? You know what I mean?
No, I think the spear is probably like one of those auctions, like in Hawkeye.
Yeah,
it's probably one of those.
Oh, so it's not really completely legal? You're saying?
Maybe not completely legal, but also like maybe it is legal, but it's like from like rubble. Because there's a lot of rubble in game, so it's probably like taken from there.
Oh yeah, you're not really supposed to have this anyway.
Yeah.
Well, no, because they said it was stolen from like colonists or whatever. Didn't that the guy said?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, why would they even go after it? That's why I mentioned the Killmonger.
And Killmonger didn't even steal it back because he wanted. He was getting it because he was working with Claw at the time.
Yeah.
Claw. I don't know.
I don't like that. One thing I didn't like about Daredevil was him walking outside in a suit during the day.
Yeah.
Wasn't a fan of that.
went back to the apartment with Jen in his Daredevil costume, I was like, did this goofy goober walk to her? He walked to her apartment in his Daredevil costume and then walked out. I was like, this is goofy, dude. That's so goofy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they know who I am.
Right.
I wonder why.
But he did mention he works for a law firm, so I'm assuming it's Nelson and Murdoch.
I think it has to be because it has to at least be him and someone else, because he said like us versus them. He talked about like for working pro bono, and that's the us, and then sometimes he has to work for them.
Yeah.
So if not Foggy, it's someone else, or he's just talking about like the collective us of lawyers who work for the small guy.
Yeah. Yeah, overall it's a good episode. Definitely one of the better ones.
Episode. I thought like it had like a good start, a good middle, good end. I feel like a lot of my critiques are kind of like nitpicks, like the guy who had the date with She-Hulk and he's like, oh, is your skin impenetrable? Can it be pierced by vibranium? Yeah. I didn't like that he's just like some weirdo. I thought he had something to do with the people trying to steal She-Hulk's blood.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I thought too. My main thing is that this should have been earlier in the series.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's other problems, other things we mentioned. But that's if it would have been early in the season, I think it could have fixed a lot of the problems I had in the other episodes. It just would have been better.
Yeah.
Especially with her being female lawyer of the year, but we haven't seen her be a lawyer at all. And then she's going against, because almost like when Matt Murdock's talking in court, she's like, whoa, who's this guy?
Yeah.
Like knowing all these laws. It's like, okay, this would be more impactful if we've seen Jen take on more cases.
Yeah, because like the one about how many cases? We had the first episode where Titania
that one
interrupts, so Jen doesn't even have the time to like. We don't actually see it. We see Jen's like closing statement at the beginning.
Shapeshifter.
You see the shapeshifter, because Jen wasn't doing that one. She was just a witness, or like like someone who knows the dude.
What was the other case?
Wong. She represented Wong.
Was that the same episode as the shapeshifter? There was another.
No, the one with Wong is episode 4.
Didn't the shapeshifter have 2 court cases going on? It was because Jen was doing her own case. Abomination. That wasn't really a court case though. But she was still being a lawyer. But
yeah. So, episode 1, episode 2, episode 4. I think 5. I think 5 was the one with the shapeshifter, right? No, wait. 5 doesn't count because she wasn't the lawyer in that one. The Megan Thee Stallion.
5 is just Jen. Jen.
But the Megan Thee Stallion one doesn't count because she wasn't a lawyer. Because it was the Megan Thee Stallion one, the shapeshifter one, that she wasn't a lawyer. So, excluding episode 8, we've seen her in court 3 times, at least.
Yeah. And those 3 times she's in court, she's not really doing that much.
Copyright one doesn't count because she's not the lawyer.
Yeah.
She's the defendant. She's the client. So at least 3 times. The first one, we see her closing arguments, but it's not in court. Yeah. So we don't actually see her closing argument in the courtroom. I don't know if you could technically count that. I don't know. Second one, I don't really remember the second one. Like, I remember we're going through the different witnesses and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think this could have used 9 episodes. 9 episodes I think it's a good length, but you just need to shift focus. This could have been way early in the season. This way the whole episode could focus on Jen actually being a superhero and her balancing stuff more, but let's see we'll wait to see what happens next week. Maybe it'll develop even more. So let us know what you guys thought of the episode. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and see you in the next one.
I'll see you guys next time. I'm so tired right now.